We like to think about God doing what we want in the way that we want and just kind of zapping it, right? And God can do that, right? And sometimes God does do that, but far more often when we open up the Bible, we see God working in two ways. One, He works really strangely, okay? I mean, God does some strange stuff. It's not the way I would do it, right? And God works really slowly. Sometimes over lifetimes, sometimes over generations and multi-generations. So when I'm looking for the hand of God, I'm going to look for some strange stuff, and I'm going to look for some slow stuff. Because that's how God works. How many times have we looked in our life and we've even as we've seen the hand of God, we've said, you know, this is not what I had in mind. Not what I had in mind. This is not the way that I would do it. Can I tell you, with every fiber of my being, I believe that God has worked in my life for a considerable amount of time to bring me to Valdosta, Georgia. One of the great blessings of my life. Can I tell you, it is not what I had in mind. I've never had it in mind. I didn't have it in mind the first time I ever heard of people from out. I told them, no, thanks, but no thanks. My mother lives in Missouri. Okay? I'm a long ways from my mom. Okay? God had a different plan. God had a plan even to bless me that I would have never followed in my life. And so God says, we got to save a nation. We got to save a nation. How are we going to do that? Hey, we're going to save a nation, and it's going to begin by a group of brothers who are going to hate their brothers so bad they're going to try to kill them. And actually, the way we're going to do it, we're going to have him sold as a slave. And we're going to have him bought by a man named Potiphar. We're going to have a woman make some accusations of sexual assault against this man. And they're going to be lies, and people are going to believe them. And then he's going to be thrown into a dungeon, and he's going to interpret some dreams. He's going to think he's going to get out, but then he's going to rot away in that place for years and years. He's going to rot in that pit. Who am I talking about? Joseph. And that's how God saves all of Joseph's family. But not just Joseph's family. We're talking about the line of Israel. We're talking about the line of Christ. What a weird way to do it. What a weird way to do it. I'm just telling you that there are none of us, and if we had more time, I would get into how I would do it. Right? But God does these things where we say, what are you doing? We got this giant of a man, right? Goliath. He's out there, you know, ready to challenge all comers. And I don't know who's the manliest man here. Right? I don't know who that is. But whoever it is, I mean, we could look around and we could, you know, nobody want to nominate their husband on that one? No? I mean, I don't know who it is, right? But I'm typically looking around and I'm saying, man, you're 6'4", and you're 250, and you got all these muscles, you go fight him. God says, no, we'll take David. That's how God works. That's how God works. Esther put in this time in this place. Hey, we're gonna save the world. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it by a death on the cross. It's foolishness to men. But God does this for a reason. Right? Because I want you to understand, when you come to the other side of it, right? When David is standing there and he's chopped off Goliath's head. Right? I want you to get that you didn't defeat Goliath because you're big and bad. You only defeated Goliath by the power and the hand of God. That's why God gave them manna. He could have given them Big Macs. He could have. He didn't. I want you to learn something. God works in this strange and this slow way. One person said that God often helps when there is least hope and saves His people in a way in which they think will destroy them. Oh, I could sit here and tell you story after story in my very short life of times that I thought God was just letting me die. But the truth is God was teaching me things that I could have learned no other way. God wanted them to work for it. It's not just that, well, I guess I'll just sit back and see what God wants me to do. No. No, God, even when He sent the manna, listen, He sent the manna that every morning they had to go out, and they had to get off the ground. He sent them manna. He didn't send them breakfast in bed. We as a people are to live out our faith. James 2, verse 14, what does it profit, my brethren, if someone says he has faith but he does not have works? Can that faith save him? Well, obviously not. Faith without works is dead. Right? So that there's a part that we play, but don't think that we're the show. Right? All we are is the humble servant who is to trust in God. Go in there and march around those walls. Right? Once a day for 6 days and 7 times on the 7th day. Now, if they don't do that, the walls of Jericho don't fall. But whenever they blow those trumpets and the walls fall, don't get the idea that somehow you had a great battle plan. Because you ain't going to be in any city that way unless God makes them fall. It's the same thing in our life. We must learn to do something that we're not very good at. That's to rely upon God. We come to the New Testament. This will be my last verse, okay? We come to the New Testament in Matthew chapter 4, and Jesus is in the greatest spiritual battle of His life. He's face to face with Satan. And Satan is tempting Him to do all sorts of things. And one of the things he's tempting him to do is to turn 2 stones into bread. Right? I mean, you think, listen, after 40 days of not eating, there's temptation there. There's a part of him that says, you know what, I'd really like to eat right now. The problem is, Satan is the one who's come up with this idea. And Jesus turns to Satan in Matthew 4 and verse 4. You know what he says. He says, it is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word which proceeds out of the mouth of God. He's quoted from Deuteronomy chapter 8. It's not just a statement about the importance of bread or the lack of importance of bread. Jesus is looking at Satan and telling him, I'm going to trust in my Father. And I'm in a difficult place, but I'm going to trust in my Father. You're going to come to difficult places in your life. There are going to be times in your life when you run out of money. There are going to be times in your life when you may be out of a job, or you may be out of health care, you may be out of friends, you may be out of family, you may be out of luck, you may be out of options. I mean, you just may be out of everything. But it's in those moments. It's in those moments that we have this desperate need to know that we are not out of a Savior. His name is Jesus, and we can trust in Him. I appreciate y'all listening this morning. We'll take a short break. About 15 minutes, and we'll come back. Okay?